Oh, alright. Well, I guess I'm going to be doing. Oh god, what my GDI is fucked. 7 was this Sunday. And I'm on Sudafed and medication. So I figure now is as good a time as ever to do a summary of um Attack on Titan. Now, Gurren Lagann starts in the ancient past, 1800s in Victorian London, with a young man, Ozzy Osbourne, yes, and he and his dad, Ozzy Osbourne. Well, you know what? Actually, Ozzy isn't born in this one. We're gonna start with Ozzy, and Ozzy is a mean person. He is, he's mean because he has a bad beard. Now Ozzy Osbourne's dad Ozzy, he's going down the ye old highways, and then he finds a carriage crash because you died if you were a carriage crash back then because they didn't have seatbelts. Remember, the only thing cars have over carriages is seatbelts. It's so much easier to drive a carriage. Horses make good food. So, anyways, Joey Jojo's dad, um, horror Jesus Joestar. He's like, oh, who Nelly, Rick? We sure did get ourselves into a pickle this time. And then everyone else in the crash is dead except for his son. And then, but honestly, Yo doesn't know this. He's going around. He's just like, ooh, I'm looking through these dead people's belongings. And he opens this suitcase, and it has, inside it has an enemy mask. And Ozzy's like, spooky, and then he throws it away. And then Ozzy goes over and he's like, is this man dead? He is not dead. And then he goes over and he starts to talk to Jesus, and it turns out Jesus' son, Johnny, is still alive, and Ozzy was like, got you. And then they part as friends, but Jesus didn't know Ozzy was gonna rob him. Christ. So then, meanwhile, off screen, oh God, this just really hurts my eyes. So some blood goes on the mask, and it goes boo. And we go to modern-ish, less past her London, where we meet the hero of the story, Johnny JoJo, and he's a true gentleman, except he sucks at life. He can't do it. He can't even beat up a few peasants. If you gotta be rich in the 1800s, you gotta be able to beat everyone up. Because if you can't beat everyone up, then you're gonna get robbed. That's how the principles worked. Which is why Johnny went to become the greatest bodybuilder in all of humanity. So anyway, Ozzy dead, or dying, and then he goes to his son Ozzy, and he's like, "Hey Ozzy, I'm dying." And then Ozzy's like, "I killed you," and then Ozzy's like, "Whoops." And he's like, go to this man I saved many years ago. How old are you when my dreams were crushed? Haha, I made a funny joke there. I'm gonna save my GD. So then Ozzy cuts his dad's head off or something. Is like, and he goes to Johnny's house and he says, "Hello there, Johnny. It's me, your friend, Ozzy." And then Johnny's like, you mean Ozzy? And Ozzy's like, yeah, yes. So then they hate each other, and Ozzy murders Joey's dog, and Johnny's like, Johnny's like, oh, my dog is dead, just like my dreams. And then Ozzy goes, he swirls his evil mustache. Soon, the 7 Dragon Balls of the Joestar fortune will be mine. So then you time jump a couple years, and they're friends, Ozzy and Joe, but it's only fake. because Ozzy just wants to kill everyone in the family. So he begins to poison Joe's dad, like he poisoned his dad, and then Joe's like, Dio, you suck. And then he goes to racist McStereotype in London, and he goes, give me a cure. But first he meets his friend, Fast Car McGee. Now Fast Car McGee, he has a hat and has knives taped to it, so he's like, what is up, my lady? Tips fedora. Then he takes his fedora off and he throws it at you, and you get a scar. And he laughs, but then you can beat him up because he probably watches My Little Pony. Let's be honest here. So then things happen. Adobe, whatever his name is, Ozzy. I think that's what we agreed on. He puts the spooky mask from like a million years ago on, and he's like, I resent my humanity. And then he becomes a zombie. No. Vampire. That sounds right. That definitely sounds right. So Ozzy's a vampire, and Johnny's like, somebody call 911 because there's a fire on the dance floor, and the entire house is lit on fire. And they think Ozzy burns to death, but he didn't know he did Jack the Ripper. Ozzy did Jack the Ripper, like Bush did 9/11. So anyway, then Joe meets his obligatory Italian friend, and then the obligatory Italian friend goes, I am Led Zeppelin himself, and I am here to teach you the ways of dreidel. And then Joe goes, isn't that for the reboot? And he goes, whoops. So anyways, after that whole shenanigans, they track down Ozzy Osbourne, and it turns out he killed an entire village. This is not good, by the way. And he goes, yuck, 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 Joey Jojo, you cannot stop me even with your friend Dire Straits. Money for nothing, Led Zeppelin, because I have old history, men. And he laughs, because that's what he does. And he looks flawless, because he's a vampire. And then he goes, then they have a big fight, and Johnny kills him, or did he? Because Dio's right-hand man, the Asian stereotype, is back. And he saves his head. So then Joe gets married to this girl. I hate girls, you're so stupid. And they go on a cruise ship. But guess who's on the cruise ship? Adobe Flash himself. And Adobe Flash goes, yuck, 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 Joe. You're the only cool dude I know, so I'm going to steal your body. He cuts Joey Jojo's head off and sinks the ship. But Jojo's wife and the baby she stole survives. Now we fast forward 50 million years in the future to the dinosaur times with Yosef Joestar, leader of the Soviet Union. So what he does is he goes, hey, I live in New York and I have an obligatory black friend, and I live with my grandmother who is Joey 1's wife, and I am Joe 2, Electric Boogaloo. So then Dire Straits is back, but only half of him. Straits. And you see Speedwagon, remember him? He was there. He's rich because he found oil. And that's all the people cared about in the year 1983. So Fast Car is like, hey, I'm rich and I'm doing exploration. And he goes into the Aztec Empire rainforest or wherever. And he finds a bunch of those spooky masks from episode 1. And he goes, shit. And then he goes to his friends and like, shit. But Straits was with him because he's like, you know what to do with this. And Straits kills everyone and turns into a vampire because he always wanted to be a vampire. Santa never gave him a stone mask for Christmas. And Straits was really sad because he always wanted to be a Santa. So, anyway, after this, Straits is like, no, all the people who know how to kill me are dead. So he goes to Jojo 2, and he goes, I'm gonna murder you. And Joey Jojo goes, no, And he pulls out the classic vampire killing weapons of an Uzi and grenades. But he doesn't kill straights. No, he has to use the magic vampire sunlight energy after he takes a hostage. What a nerd. So then Joey JoJo's like, no, Vampy, no, they have Speedwagon, the fast car, the Nazis. And guess what? They're Nazis because this is World War III. So then he goes and he kills the man and then fixes his corpse to a cactus. Then he tries cross-dressing, decides he doesn't like it, is enchanted by Hitler's speeches, joins Nazi Germany and saves Fast Car after dealing with, gasp, the first of the Pillar Men. And the Pillar Men live in pillars. That's why they have that name. And then he's like, let me beat you up then. So he beats out the Pillar Man, and he turns him to stone again. And he goes, oh, what doomed Speedwagon. And he goes to Italy and meets his new friend. Remember Zeppelin Man? He died first part. Now he has a grandson, Caesar Salad. And Caesar Salad's like, JoJo, you suck. And he makes bubbles. So they go on wacky friendship adventures to kill ancient Aztec gods. Till eventually Caesar Salad gets brutally murdered by Jesus. And after a really mean match of Mario Kart, in which Joey JoJo uses ROM hacks, he finally faces against the third last Pillar Man, Adolf. And Adolf hits, haha, I have the pirated edition of Pokemon Ruby. And he puts it in his forehead, it becomes a god. And then Joey JoJo's like, there's only there's only one thing. Wait, let's backtrack a bit. So he meets Caesar Salad, and they go and they fight Angus Young on top of spikes. And Joey JoJo's like, I killed Angus Young, but he didn't kill Angus Young. Angus Young's nervous system attached itself to JoJo's back, right? So what happened was, after Angus Young did this, JoJo was like, no, and then Angus Young mailed the pirated Pokemon Ruby away because they needed that. So they kill Angus Young and they move on to Switzerland, where they encounter Mario Kart McGee, and he's like, JoJo, I will only face you in battle if you play me in Mario Kart. And he plays in Mario Kart and he wins. Whoa, using cheating because JoJo's a bitch. So then JoJo puts him out of his misery. Then Vehicle is back, and he is God now after ransoming JoJo's mom. JoJo is in Oedipus complex, by the way. Bet you didn't expect that. So anyways, JoJo goes against Vehicle, and he uses, it's not rocket science, just common sense, tedium air trade, to launch him into space, and Cars becomes the world's largest fudgesicle. Now we go forward 50 years. Yosef's an old man and the leader of the Soviet Union. He's going to Japan to go get a reunion with his long-lost grandson because he's been on the run. Because guess what? Remember Adobe Flash Player? He's back. And you want to hear some bad news? He has this ghost, and its name is the Globy Globerson. And so Joey JoJo goes and he's like, hey, Grandpa? Oh, there's a ghost out of me. And he locks himself in jail and he beats up people and tries to commit suicide. But unfortunately, because due to a horrific lab accident, his hat was fused to his hair. He needed to get out of this hellish situation, so he attempted to shoot himself and failed miserably. So after all this and Peter Pan, Joseph's like, here's my friend Muslim McGee, and he doesn't get much characterization over the next 52 episodes, but that's okay. And then they go and he's like, youngest Joe 3, Joe 3, The Force Awakens. Guess what? That's not a ghost. It's only your purple protector man. And then they go and they're like, doo, we got him out of jail, yay. Then he meets man with ridiculous. He meets John Mulaney, and John Mulaney goes and he's like, Emerald Splash you, and he fucking fucks JoJo up because, well, he's John Mulaney. So when he goes and he like fucking cripples. Oh no, you gotta censor that out. He freaking cripples JoJo, and he goes, and then they become friends after they wannabe head they become friends after wannabe head surgery. So then they go and they meet Waffle Iron 1, and he has a pillar on his head, so he is the last of the Pillar Men, and he goes and he's like, Bonjour, I am France himself. Wish to play a game, yes? So what he does is he brutally murders everyone and takes their place. Just kidding, though I wish, because Frenchman is good. Then they get Frenchman on their side. They go on wacky adventures, fighting, but not limited to, a fish, a cruise ship, a gambling addiction, another gambling addiction, the mysterious, the ghostly forest from Legend of Zelda, a tumor, some kid with a coloring book, magnets, and many more. All of this in your average episode of Furby Crusaders. Also, they get a dog, and its name is Iggy Pop, and he has a caffeine addiction, and also he dies. Everyone dies. So what happens is they finally get to Egypt where Dobby flashes, and he goes, go, it was me, Adobe Flash himself. And they go, we're gonna beat you up. And he goes, no, you won't. And they go, yeah, well. And he goes, so the globe. And he puts his finger on a globe, and the time stops. And he goes and he punches a hole straight through Calculon. Also, at this point, Avdol and Iggy are dead because Vanilla Ice was too good of a musician for them. So he goes, he summons a BDSM, you heard that right, BDSM skeleton, and he sends them into the Shadow Realm for all of eternity. Which, happens on a daily basis, but, you gotta be honest, you don't want it to happen to your loved ones. So anyway, what happens is they go and then Dio kills JoJo 2, probably, and he goes, this is like marijuana, but a vampire, vampire one. So they go, and it turns out Jotaro can stop time. Who would have thunk, except everybody? So what he does is he goes on a bridge, and Jotaro's like, you guys will stop the time. This must be the work of an enemy. Stando. And then Dio's like, I am a construction worker. And he crushes him with a road roller, and they go, and Dio dies, and they melt him, and then Jotaro goes, "Why you come to bring him back?" And then he transfuses blood into Joseph and gets his heart beating using his purple ghosts. Then when it's daytime, they take Dio's remains out to the sunlight, and it's hot. It's high noon. It's high noon, and the deal melts. Now fast forward 50 years, and it's the distant future of 1999. Now Dio's dead, but how did he get a spooky ghost? Checkmate, atheists. That's right. God hates the Jews, so he gave Dio a stand so he could track them down and round them back to Egypt. Anyways, as I was saying, I got Dio was leading the archery, so he's like, I'm gonna make a bow and arrow that gives people ghosts. Which is very coincidental, because remember JoJo 2? Yeah, he's back. He also had an affair, and now he has a small child that goes by the name of Josuke Higashikawa, I believe. And he goes, hey, Greato does. And he's like, man, my stand can fix things. And JoJo's like, you are an illegitimate child. And Josuke's like, Greato. And then they get into a fight and stop a time. And they meet friends such as Mini Goku and Stupid Man and Lady with Hair and Gordon Ramsay and Charles Barkley and Gurren Lagann himself. That's right, he's back after 30 years. So anyways, this Star Wars movie takes on a more slice of life element, with Josuke and his friends getting the wacky adventures until they meet California red spicy pepper, and he goes, I am a Rocco star. And then he goes, and his stands like electricity. And he goes, eat garbage, old man. He tries to kill Joseph, because Joseph's there, and it's a very bad mistake. So anyway, Joseph doesn't die. Instead, the electric man is the one who does the dying. Haha, checkmate, atheist. So anyway, all's well. They find a baby who's invisible. That's just pretty stupid. Who wants an invisible baby? Then Josuke and Jotaro are equally outmatched by the ultimate power of a rat with a stand. I don't know how. Stupid. So anyway, eventually they figure out that all of the mysterious kidnappings are the work of Mr. Dustbiter, or as he is known in cosplay circles, Akira Toriyama. And Akira Toriyama goes and he's like, I like jack off to the Mona Lisa. And he's like, you know what? We gotta stand, and you gotta stand somehow. And he cut off girls' hands and he completely erases their bodies. Which is pretty good for not leaving any evidence, because no one knows that's what's missing persons cases. And then eventually, remember Gurren Lagann? He has like a spiky walnut head, by the way. Eventually, he meets up with Kira on accident because they both went to the same sandwich shop, but he grabs Kira's sandwich bag, which had a hand in it. So Kira murders him in cold blood. So eventually they go on an investigation to find Kira, and they have him too, until he kills an innocent man and steals his face, using fairy godmother from Shrek. And right now, I'm telling myself in the future, I gotta insert a clip of fairy godmother Shrek. I need a hero. So anyway, what happens is it's very simple. He is a very good family man, as it turns out, Kira. However, he gets a new ability, Edie Dirt McGee. And that means that Bill Murray, Groundhog Day, he can live that reality. Don't you just wish you could be Bill Murray? I'm sure I do. Let's play the left track here. So anyways, after becoming Bill Murray, Kira gets in a fight with Josemafu, and they punch each other, and they punch each other, and blow things up, and just can't heal himself. Till eventually, in an ultimate twist of irony, Akira Toriyama is killed by a giant Goku float in a parade from nearby. Same way, Josuke is a normal high schooler. Now, remember Adobe Flash Banner? He banged a bunch of whores. So he had a secret son who lived in Italy, and he got a stand, and his name was Giorno, which is like a mix of JoJo and Dio. That's the whole point. He wants to take up with the mafia or something. I haven't really read the latest parts. I haven't really read the part 4 in the summary. So basically, spoilers ahead. Boop boop boop. This is my summary. It's pretty stupid. So anyway, what happens after this is what's happening? Akira Toriyama is ghost. No, wait, that's the wrong one. JoJo, no, Dio's kid is the head of the mafia. He kills Delbio, whose power is to erase time or cause an effect or something. Which seems it's weird. But it's not that difficult when you think about it. You see, King Crimson eliminates the cause of an effect, therefore negating the effect. It's pretty OP. So you just gotta beat him up a bunch and nothing, you win. Eventually, Giorno gets a bunch of arrows in his stand. Remember arrows? And he becomes literally God. And you know what? Giorno's pretty pissed because all his friends have been murdered by El Diablo, so he makes him die forever. Moment of silence. As long as a moment, sorry. Part 6 is Orange is the New Black meets Jesus. So, Jolene is, do you remember Jotaro for JoJo 3? He's back. And guess what? He had a daughter. And she hates him, and he hates her, probably. And she has a stand, and they go, and she gets arrested for a crime she didn't commit. And then an evil man comes, and he steals the souls of criminals, and he uses them to reset the universe. So all those years of work for nothing. So now we're back in part 1, except it's part 7. And we follow our hero? Yeah, it's hero, I guess. Johnny Joestar, except his name is actually Johnny this time. And they go around and they gotta kill dinosaurs while winning a horse race to kill the President of the United States of America, all while playing Sunlight Cradle with his best Italian friend, Mussolini McZeppelin. That's pretty much it. And it's the AC/DC Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. And in part 8, there's a man with 4 testicles, a magic fruit, sailor uniforms, Kira's back, Josuke and Kira are the same person, walleyes, what's an ocean, Pillar Man, who's Joseph? Now these answers will be answered next time, probably.